So back to the lesson.
Yes.
It does tell you that that it can be quite painful. It's the early stage in the 6 changes in paragraph 3, which can truly be called salvation. Yes, because you're being freed from a major false belief, if not the false belief of it all. It can be quite difficult and even quite painful to realize. And I think what you said, to realize that you have been, it's difficult to know that you've been fooled by the ego.
And you've been doing it
and
this whole
quite
time.
painful to think, oh my goodness,
I've done this whole time.
I've been tempted into believing this.
Yeah.
And then give yourself a hard time. So as you rightly say, it doesn't want you to give yourself a hard time. It says some of them will lead you directly into fear. You will not be left there. And the next lessons and the next lessons will move us further forward. You will go far beyond it. Our direction, and this is so comforting, our direction is toward perfect safety and perfect peace.
Yeah.
Because if you believe that God created the war, the aeroplane crash and disaster, you will feel unsafe.
Yeah.
And you will be in conflict.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be unsafe and in conflict.
No.
So this lesson will help to free you from that and bring you into safety and peace, which is the purpose of the course, which is
salvation as well. So originally, I don't know if I've spoken about it already with you.
It doesn't matter. We can say it again.
But I tried to gain an understanding of salvation because it's a word that I didn't feel too familiar with. I did believe salvation was a heavily Christian word, perhaps.
Salvation Army.
And there's all these things associated with it. So I really wanted to get to the meaning of salvation. Again, the etymological root is how I like to get the meaning from words. You did teach me this very early on, and we quite like breaking down our words. So I came to understand salvation, breaking it down as sal, which is symbolic of salt. Sal is salt. And salt is always symbolic of purification. In in school, actually, we learnt all about Indian history. We learnt about Gandhi, and we learned about his Salt Satyagraha, which was the salt march of the Indians reclaiming with Gandhi a peaceful protest and marching to claim the salt of their sea, which was being taken and shipped around the world and used as a product, basically. And Gandhi came and said that this is our salt, and we use it in our foods, and it's all that. But it was a purification process, and salt has always been considered a purifier, a cleansing thing, a cleansing salt. And this is why salt water, seawater, is often very good for wounds and stuff. If you've got a cut and stuff, so salt water is great and salt is good. That is very interesting, and this is where it started to get slightly less Christian and religious form. Well, it was religious in another sense, but va in both Hindu and Buddhism, and Buddhist teachings and philosophy, va means option or choice. It's a symbolic of an option or choice. So va, va. So in Hindu philosophy, in Buddhist philosophy, they talk about va as choice. Tion, tion is an action. This denotes is a suffix given to an action word. It gives it action. So now you have the active choice for purifying through salvation.
Right, good.
So again, sal being symbolic of purification, salt as cleansing. So the active choice to purify, to cleanse. So that's what salvation really is. And this is why it only lies with us. This is not, I'm waiting for someone else to give me salvation. No, you are choosing it. This is your choice. No one else can come and do it for you. You don't get salvation handed to you. You make a choice. For salvation, you make a choice. So then I started to understand salvation is very as much more of a thing within my control and my grasp and my power to actually do for me,
Yeah.
and not
Very
for
helpful.
someone else. So
Wonderful,
yeah,
wonderful stuff. And Jesus said, you are the salt of the earth.
yes, and that's
And he's saying
very
you're the purifier of the earth.
exactly. So that again, that's completely symbolic of that as well. The
Yes.
salt.
Each one of us is a purifier of the earth.
Mm.
We're here to purify.
And you think about that phrase. So Jesus said salt of the earth as well, but this is a common phrase used in, you meet a person and they're really down to earth. They're very happy. Normally they make you feel really good. And when you're describing someone positively, and they're just doing their work and they're doing it quite well, you go, oh yeah, real salt of the earth character, that one.
Yes,
real,
yes.
real good. Purifying character, just doing their life.
Playing their part
Playing
in the
doing
plan
absolutely doing
of
the thing.
salvation.
Yeah, exactly.
Being the salt
So
of
we
the
meet
earth.
many salt of the earth people.
Indeed we do.
And however we look at them, they're absolutely doing their life and living and doing their part and doing it well.
Yeah. Wonderful. So yes, our direction, and you can feel that direction, I'm sure, as by lesson 14, we feel the direction is moving us towards perfect safety and perfect peace. Only a minute on this one, particularly with your personal repertory of horrors.
Yes,
paragraph
exactly.
7 there.
Yeah.
And then just to finish off, God did not create a meaningless world. He did not specify whatever it is that's troubling you, because if it's troubling you, it's coming from ego, the ego mind, the illusion, the dream, and it's not real. So it's bringing us to awareness. Oh, I am dreaming this. I'm in the ego's dream. That's all I'm in is the ego's dream, which leaves us with only one thing that can happen after dreaming.
Waking up. Yeah, exactly.
That's our only option, is waking up.
Exactly. The challenging, or perhaps the little bit of a foundation that it's starting to lay here is the unreality of it, really. What we think we've been in reality this whole time. We think what we've been experiencing is real this whole time.
Yes.
I mean, I think jokingly, I think about the Matrix when Morpheus comes in and goes, what is real? What is real?
Yes.
If real is, determined by your 5 senses, then it's simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain. And that's all that's real is, that's all that can be real. And, if that's the case, then a computer has a complete reality. If it's electrical signals interpreting information, that's just as real as my reality. Is it? Where do I lie? Where am I at? Where's my consciousness? Where's my soul? What's it inhabiting?
Where your consciousness is, it feels real, doesn't it?
Exactly. So,
and it does use the word horror. That's quite a description for these things. So you are horrified by it. You are so it's not about the fact that you're horrified by it. This is purely to identify that you've made the mistake of putting this on God.
Yeah.
You've put this on God and he did not create them.
Yeah.
Very important step. So this sort of brings the meaningless little section to its fulfillment.
Yeah.
And we now are ready for the next stage. So
we
had quite a lot. There's pretty much 14 lessons all around this meaning idea, the understanding of purpose and meaning and what it's serving, etc.
It's a really great, 14 days or 14 weeks. The number 14 is quite good anyway. 2 lots of 7's always good, isn't it? So
2 periods of completion.
Yeah, exactly. But in doing those 14, well, you are undoing the lifetime of meaningless.
Absolutely.
You're undoing everything that you've undone your belief of what God has done.
Mm.
You've undone all of this the fear of the meaningless that you thought was there the whole time.
Mm.
I mean, it's quite a powerful ego death experience, really. It's absolutely leading towards the shedding of an ego.
Yes, and it's wonderful in that you now are taking responsibility.
That's it. Yeah.
Up to this point, God has been responsible. The false definition of God has been responsible for you, and you feel like a victim of him.
Yeah.
And now that victimhood has ended. You no longer have an enemy called God who's doing this to you. You now realize you've identified with something called the ego, which is anti-God,
anti-life,
and anti-life, and anti-love, and anti-light. And so the next lesson will be the beginning of taking your responsibility for creating, and setting you free from the past. So it is incredible in 14 days to go from victimhood to the beginning of mastery.
Yeah, well, this is, again, belief systems. This is all about unbelief,
Yes, absolutely.
unbelief systems. Because belief systems are, of course, incredibly powerful. Whatever you believe, you will experience.
Yes.
This is actually the power of your mind. This is the subjective nature.
You see what you believe.
The subjective nature of reality, of the belief system, of consciousness, where you place your consciousness. If you choose to limit your belief systems, limiting beliefs, limiting the consciousness, the infinite, you will experience that belief system.
Yes.
The trick that you didn't even know occurred is that you've been tricked into a belief system of servitude towards a little g god, a false god.
Yes.
Because that's the god of the world.
Yes.
So now you've kind of gone, oh my God, like I've been tricked into believing that I'm a victim of another creator, of an illusion, of another reality.
Yes. And the Course doesn't use the word serve, it uses the word slave.
Slave, yeah, I know, yeah.
Slave.
Servitude, yeah. So
you're slaving to this.
Yeah.
And that comes again in the early part of the text where it says, we don't want to leave a single slave.
Slave, yeah, serfdom.
A single slave left in the world,
Yeah.
or in the dream.